2020 is coming and you need a marketing plan. Oh no, what do I do? In this video, I'm gonna break down how to allocate your company's revenues towards marketing. Okay, this is such a high value, critical thinking task that most business owners don't put enough critical thought into. And if you don't put critical thinking into how you're going to allocate your marketing budget and how much you're even going to spend as a percentage on your marketing, then you're going to just resort to what worked last year. Okay, which with a market where everything's getting more and more competitive, how do you think that's going to work? Okay, if you just do exactly what you did last year. Of course, you always need to be experimenting in a market that is as competitive as it currently is. So my intention in this video is to help you commit to what percentages are going to be right for you both online, offline, okay, and different other investment initiatives. And then also, as a treat, I'm also going to bring you through my take on what your number one move should be per category. So what should be your number one move in content marketing, email marketing, lead generation, SEO, etc. I'm going to break it down by category and tell you what I think in 2020 your biggest move should be per category. And before I forget, if you want my company, the SMB Team, Small Medium Business Team, our website is smbteam.com. Go to our website if you want us to put together a 2020 marketing plan for you. We can either help you over the phone, or we can actually fly out to your location and help you with this. So if you're interested, again, go to smbteam.com and submit your information and just say 2020 marketing plan after you submit your name, email, etc. And we'll know what you mean, and then we'll follow up with you to help you plan your 2020 plan of attack, as we'll call it. Okay, so the first method we've found to determine what percentage is best from an allocation perspective is to multiply your prior quarter's revenues by a certain percentage, and then to apply that to the next quarter, okay, as your marketing budget for a quarter. Okay, so why do we recommend doing this quarterly? A lot of businesses, small businesses, do this monthly. Okay, this is our monthly marketing budget. Well, sometimes initiatives aren't clear cut in 30-day windows, right? So you want to give yourself the flexibility to let certain investments carry over from month to month. It's much better to track things quarterly so that you don't make snap decisions to cut off something that only needed a couple more days to work, etc. So 90-day world is the first world to create when you're committing to percentages. So I'm going to read you some very interesting things regarding what companies spend as a percentage of their revenues on marketing. Now, before I go through some of these examples, I want to say most people, their first gut reaction is, I'm going to look up the averages. What does the average company spend as a percentage of gross revenues on marketing? Let me just make this point. If you study average, okay, you'll become average. So don't worry about the average numbers, okay? Don't worry about finding a calculation as the average marketing percentage spend in your industry, okay? Or B2B or B2C. No, don't. That is not what you want to do here, okay? Average is not where, you're not watching a video right now on this because you want average, okay? You're trying to better yourself, better your business, create a better environment for your employees, your team members, more security, more future growth, right? Then don't study average, okay? Study the greats, okay? Study the 1% of companies that provide massive value to the world. Great run companies that are experiencing 25% year-over-year growth. Big companies at 25% year-over-year growth is huge. Microsoft, as an example, had, I think, 15% year-over-year growth from 2018 to 2019. That's really hard for a company their size. So what I'm going to do is break down some, we'll call it not average percentage of revenue spent on marketing for some companies. Okay. This is all 2018 numbers, so this is from past year data, not current year. Okay, so 2018 numbers. Salesforce.com. What do you think they spent in 2018 on marketing? Percentage of revenue. Okay, you ready? You're not going to believe me. You can look it up online. 46%. 46. Salesforce.com spent 46% of their gross revenue on marketing in 2018. Okay? Now, how fast did they grow? Did they grow in profit? Did they grow in gross? You're damn right they did. Okay? They grew 25% as a company, I believe. You can check that. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's around 25% during that year, and they spent 46% of their gross revenues on sales and marketing as a category. So yes, sales and marketing. I believe that's how all these were calculated. Okay, Oracle, 22%. These are multi-billion dollar companies. Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle, is one of the top, 7 richest men in the world. Okay, huge company, spending 22% of his revenues on marketing. Okay, Microsoft, iconic company, huge. You'd think that they're in the mature state of their business. Just look at their growth trend over the last 3 years, and you tell me whether they're accepting their fate as a mature, saturated product market company. No, they're not. They spent 16% of their gross revenues on marketing. Okay? Again, look this up. This is publicly available. Okay? Johnson & Johnson. Okay? Healthcare companies were well known for doing this. High spend on marketing. 28%. Just go look at Johnson & Johnson's revenue. Okay? 28% of their revenue was spent on sales and marketing. Okay? And look at their growth numbers. And look at the other growth numbers. Okay? And you know, this is why I just think it's so important that if you believe in your product, okay, and you really are committed to growth, don't study average. Study the greats. Okay? Oracle has had an immense impact on this world. Salesforce has had an immense impact on this world. They give billions of dollars to charity. Okay? Microsoft, disruptive impact on this world. All these companies are having an impact and spending a lot on sales and marketing. So there's nothing to be shameful about. There's nothing to be, closing your mouth about spending on sales and marketing. A lot of business owners keep their mouths shut when it comes to marketing themselves. Okay? But these companies that we look up to are not. Okay? Now there's fluke companies like Apple, for example, doesn't spend a lot on marketing because they get tons of word of mouth. They've created a need in the market. Very rare to find products like that. But in any SaaS product, you're going to see high percentages spent. So again, this is going to depend on your company. Our company, for the time being, we do 25% of the prior quarter's revenue, right, into the next quarter. Now, we grow every quarter, so the 25% number actually ends up becoming 20% or maybe 18% as we grow each quarter because we calculate it based on the prior quarter's numbers. Okay, so once you calculate your percentage of gross revenues that you're going to spend on marketing, the next step is to create the general allocation portfolio. So cool. This is like a stock investment portfolio, right? So 4 general categories. Number 1 is going to be salaries and freelancers, right? So this is paying for work, okay? Then you have online spend, then you have offline spend, and then you have experimental bucket, okay? So I'm just going to be referring to online, offline, and experimental, and assume that your hard costs for your marketing staff is already factored into whatever calculations you're making. And I have no idea how many in-house staff you have. So let's talk about online, offline, experimental, some cool little trends before I go into how we break this down. So your online spend in 2018, the average was 42%, okay? That is increasing to about 45% in 2020. So people are shifting more of their budget towards online, okay? Offline is staying stagnant at around 40% of your total marketing spend. So once you've created, let's say 25% of gross revenue, now we're breaking that down, that 25%. So online is growing from 42% to 45% of total marketing budget, okay? Offline is not growing, it's staying flat at 40, and then experimental is actually growing the highest from 10% of marketing budget to 15%. This is from multiple sources of information that I got this. So the 15% number for experimental is a key insight here. Experimental budget shows that there is so much innovation happening in marketing right now with technology that businesses are learning that they need to be okay with wasting some money and hitting some home runs. And that comes with an experimental allowance budget. Now, the experimental allowance budget is not always going to get spent. Hence, another reason for setting a higher budget multiple so that you're online and offline, even if you don't hit an experimental spend target, because you don't want to force yourself to spend that if there's not really an opportunity for it, then you'll actually end up spending less than what you allocated. Again, and you create the rules here. Okay, there is no marketing allocation Bible or whatever. So it's your call. This can be something you develop as you go. So there's 4 steps that you determine your allocation. Number 1, determine your online and offline percentages. Okay. Then the next one is to go determine your online percentage breakdown, then your offline percentage breakdown, and then your experimental allowance breakdown. Okay. So what I mean by that is once you've committed to your gross revenue percentage number, then the next step is to commit to general gist. It's going to be edited every quarter. What percentage of your marketing budget is going to go online and what's going to go offline. Okay, so if you've already been spending 70% online, 30% offline, no experimental, you probably don't want to be too disruptive. So you might want to pull that down to 60-40, whatever, or however you want to do it, and then you have the overflow go towards experimental, right? I'm sorry, it'd be like 60-35 or 60-30, right? Online, offline, experimental. Then with online marketing, what you would do is you would break it down by platform. So what we do is we have a Excel spreadsheet that goes online, offline, and all the channels within each of them, and then total, okay? And then the experimentals beneath that. Actually, if you want us to send you our marketing budget allocation Excel spreadsheet, we've never released this to the public, go to smbteam.com, enter your information, and just say budget allocation sheet, and we'll know what you mean. It's our Excel spreadsheet that's pretty much plug and play. It's already filled with formulas, and it allows you to just put in different numbers based on how much you'd spend on online, which then breaks down into Google ads, display ads, then you have social, you have Facebook, you have Instagram spend, you have LinkedIn, you have all the platforms. It's all broken down, and then it shows you, which is pretty cool, what percentage each platform is taking up of your budget within both online as a chunk and offline as a chunk, right? So offline could be events, could be doing podcasts, whatever. It shows you, okay, let's say you spent 50% of your offline, you're committing to spending 50% of your offline budget towards, advertisements on podcasts or something, or radio, right? It would show you what percentage you are spending of your offline budget allocation towards that platform. And then it would also show you the percentage of how much that percentage is compared to your total marketing budget. So it's a really cool sheet. If you want that, again, smbteam.com, put your information in and we'll send it to you. So I promised you that I would also break down the top move that you can make by category. So I'm going to break these down. The number one move in content marketing, we're going to start with content marketing, is I believe it's creating repurposable content. In 2020, what we're learning as a company is that we used to be very hesitant to do SEO on ourselves because it was such a long-term ROI activity. So what we started doing was we started thinking to ourselves, how can we put out a valuable piece of content that can also be repurposed into a long-form video, a downloadable lead magnet, and an SEO optimized page, and a valuable email in our email automation drip, and maybe even repurpose into a podcast of some sort from the audio recording of the video that was made on it. So we found a lot of success. The number one thing, what I'm talking about here, is focusing on repurposable content marketing. Because, and this ties into some of our other points, you have to give something nowadays to get something. The days are over where you can just expect to just say free consultation in all of your marketing, or free analysis, or these surface level things. They have to be specific value add offers because of how competitive the market is, okay? So content strategy move number one is to create a repurposable content strategy that ties your SEO with a lead magnet downloadable, okay, with your video strategy and with your email drip strategy, okay? So next is the number one move that you can make in email marketing. Now, I have no idea what business you're in watching this video, but what I've found tremendous success with in our company is what we call VAFU, okay, value added follow-up email drips, okay? So VAFU, email drips. So we created a very an interesting structure here where the first 30 days of emails, because we market to multiple verticals, and I'm sure you watching this have multiple different types of customers you serve. The best method we've found is in your email drip sequences to make the first 30 days specific to one niche, and then the rest, maybe it's like 100 different emails, general content, general helpful content. So for us, we market our marketing services as a company. We market our marketing services to lawyers, dentists, and contractors. Those are three big niches for us that we target. But we do a lot of other industries very well. But what we found in cold email is that what gets people into the habit of engaging with your emails is being very targeted to their niche. So what we do right now for our law firm prospects that opt into our email list, they receive 30 days of just law firm marketing content, okay? Then that email drip transitions to a general email drip where they get general marketing tips, right? Now, people that we meet at events, they may be contractors, dentists, they may not be lawyers, so they just get plugged into a general email drip without the law firm specific marketing information. And then a contractor who opts in will get 30 days of contractor marketing information, which then will pivot to general marketing information. So really, all you have to do is create 30 days, even if it's just every other day an email, which would essentially be 15 emails per niche, per need that you solve as a company. Then it goes to your general email drip. I think that's the biggest move companies can make. If again, this is a beginner strategy. I'm not talking about, multi-million-dollar Fortune 500 drip email infusion soft sequence email drips. No, I'm talking about how do you get started? Well, probably the best way to get started is to just create a general email drip, at least 100 of them, so that you can do one every 3 days. I prefer daily, but the cool thing about this is if you commit to doing a certain number of blog posts every week or month or every 2 weeks, then those blog posts just become email drips. And you put a link, you put a couple paragraphs of text, check out our new blog on this, click here, you get website traffic from it, and then you can convert leads from that from people who forgot about your brand. So that's the number one move I think you can make in email is VAFU follow-up email drips, with the first 30 days being niche specific if you can. If not, just keeping it general so it can apply to every niche you serve. That would be a big move for a company without an email nurturing campaign. Next is micro influencer, okay, influencer marketing strategy. the cost value trade-off here is still spectacular. I know people who are paying influencers, okay, a couple $1,000s, and these people maybe have, I don't know, 50,000 followers on Instagram. We're not talking 2.5 million, even some influencers that have 5,000 followers, okay? There is such a cost value trade-off here that's not even fair. The cost is so low compared to the value that you receive in attention, followers, etc. So you need to factor this in to your 2020 marketing plan. Micro influencers. This can be somehow finding a way to get on podcasts, mention shout out pages on Instagram is going to be huge. And no matter, even if you're B2B and you can get the attention of, X tens of thousands of people, something good's usually going to come from it. So micro influencers, the biggest move you can do there is find 3 micro influencers that likely talk to the same niche that you serve and get on their Instagram feed, get on their podcast like your life depends on it. And wait till you see the ROI here is very high if you choose the right micro influencer. Okay, biggest move, video marketing. Biggest move. YouTube suggested video hacking. Okay, so this is what I think the biggest move is. What I think you should be focused on, YouTube is a search engine. A lot of people forget that, okay? But the way people become familiar with brands that build these huge followings on YouTube is it's a search engine. So someone goes on and says how to, very common 2 words that people type in on YouTube, how to do X, how to do Y, right? So what I think all business owners need to focus on is creating YouTube content that kind of hijacks other high traffic videos in your niche. So an example I use is a birth injury lawyer who has no YouTube content. Just go to YouTube and type in birth injury lawyer. And then you're gonna see there's probably only a handful of videos that have any actual traffic on them. The ones that have tons of traffic are likely going to be YouTube ads. And that means that people are clicking on the YouTube ads, viewing the video. Then in the suggested video side, if you include the same keywords in your video that's on that video, you will be more likely to show up in the suggested video feed next to that video, which is free advertising. Okay, so that is one thing that is I believe if people take advantage of it, they can get tremendous attention for pennies on the dollar for just recording themselves like I am right now about stuff you just know about, which isn't really that much work. So video marketing, big move is YouTube. And also your content strategy, like I said, should be repurposed so that the content you're putting out ties into valuable YouTube videos like this. We'll probably have a blog written on this YouTube video in the future, which just repurpose all my time here to now direct a content writer to create a blog on this topic, okay? Which is gonna get us even more leads. Then maybe we can sell our lead magnet in the future of our Excel spreadsheet marketing budget allocation. You never know. You can try this though too. Lead generation number 1, I put, and it's funny, I'm not saying social media here, Google Ads arbitrage and Facebook and Instagram value add ads. Those are the 2 big things I think that are going to generate immediate leads. Of course, you follow the other strategies, you'll get other leads. But yeah, I personally think that lead generation is going to be all about finding arbitrage opportunities on Google Ads. So that means actually veering away from direct intent keywords and going towards early stage keywords, which are much less competitive, less costly per click, and actually tying that into your content strategy so that you can be offering a downloadable lead magnet to people who click on your ads. We've had tremendous success with this with an ebook campaign we ran on Google for research terms that worked tremendously for an investment advisor. Like, you'd never think this would work. Super high net worth individuals type in investment advisor for this niche, and then they saw ebook, download your free ebook here, the ultimate guide to That's what the ad said. It got a 30% click-through rate, 40% conversion rate, worked tremendously. Okay, so That is called what we call Google Ads arbitrage. Facebook and Instagram, I think this also ties into your content strategy, right? Giving things of value. This is super simple, okay? You do an engagement sequence. I think Facebook, the biggest strategy to follow is an engagement sequence lead magnet ad, right? So that means you give a valuable piece of information in the ad. Hey, look into how to divorce lawyers would do this, right? Hey, are you looking into the options of divorce in Kentucky? Great. Read our blog post on 10 things to be aware of when filing divorce in Kentucky. Boom, they click on that, they're brought to the blog, they're pixeled, then those people then get served free consultation ads or a different lead magnet. Hey, download our, how to choose a divorce lawyer in Kentucky playbook, right? Whatever. They download that. You can make it multi-stage or you can just go right for the jugular after they visit your blog because you know that they're interested. But that's what they call engagement-based Facebook sequences. I think the same thing's going to happen on YouTube. So if you can repurpose your content into your Facebook and Instagram strategy, I think that's going to be a big move for people in 2020. And last but not least, physical events. We just forget about this, right? Online is so competitive that some people just give up. And recently, we've been kind of closed-minded because we're primarily a digital marketing company. We've been closed-minded ourselves to physical events. And recently, we just did one event in Miami, and from that event, our average cost, per client through marketing initiatives is around, anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 for some sources. And the interesting thing is this event taught us a way to get $300 cost per acquisition. Okay, that's less than 1/3 what we had been paying all year because we tried something new. We put our tail between our legs and we said, let's try something else that's kind of getting abandoned in the digital era. And it worked tremendously. So the number one move that you can do in 2020, when it comes to physical events, is very simple. Simple advice. Is commit to at least one physical event per month. If not, once every 2 months. But the business owner, the face of the company, needs to be at these events that are surrounded by your ideal clientele. And just word of wisdom, if you're not used to doing physical events, again, you might, I don't know what stage you're in, but if you're not, just know the first couple aren't gonna work, okay? Because you're gonna be getting acclimated to the event environment, and you're not going to know how to network and be inundated with all this information, and it's going to be tough. But third or fourth time, once you learn how to prospect at these events by not being pushy or salesy, you will be shocked. I mean, it is shocking. One mentor told me that the hardest way to sell online marketing is online, right? If you sell an intangible product, it's much better to sell that face to face. So I don't know if you're in an intangible product niche, but think about that. So I think if you carefully reflect on all the information in this video, I think you will be pleasantly surprised with some insights you may have and different decisions that you'll be making in 2020 to dominate your marketing plan, so that you can be the choice in your market versus a choice. Thank you so much for your time, energy, and attention. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we know that you like this video. Give us a like and comment if you have any things that you wish I explained more deeply in another video, and I'd love to hop on that for you. So again, hope you found value in this. Go to smbteam.com to get started with your 2020 marketing plan. We can either do it over the phone, we can fly to your location, and also don't forget, if you want our budget allocation sheet, go to smbteam.com and just say marketing budget allocation, and we'll send you our entire Excel spreadsheet with formulas already in it by platform. So I hope I'm giving value here. I hope that you take this and you grow to your potential. Thank you so much.